Alright guys, Matt again with Bluetail Survival. I know everything from the last video that you guys just saw is identical to this video, and that is because we are filming videos simultaneously right now. This is, however, episode 2 of the Bushcraft Knife Showdown. So we're just going to dive right in here. In the random drawing, we've got the Kellum Fang going head to head against the Ontario SK4. All right, you'll see SK series in the survival knife video because I do have the SK5. Because I created 2 different brackets, survival knives and bushcraft knives, I had some doubles or smaller versions of other knives. Example, I have a Tops Tom Brown number 4. I have the SK4, the Bush Lore that I booted out of the survival knife video. I was able to bring in more knives because they are smaller and fit the bushcraft category a little bit better. But you will see the SK or the Ontario SK series more. Kind of a unique story about the Blackbird for me anyway. My absolute favorite survivalist is Creek Stewart. Creek Stewart used to be the host of, he was the host of a TV show called Fat Guys in the Woods. And I really liked it because they didn't do anything crazy. They weren't rappelling off of mountains. Eventually they did in the last season, but they weren't, you know, drinking water from elephant shit. They weren't eating scorpions raw and stuff like that. It was very, very basic survival. And at the end of it, whoever he thought performed the best, he gave them an Ontario SK5, the full-size version. And for whatever reason, that knife just stuck with me, and I absolutely, it's my favorite knife. The SK5 is my favorite knife. I love the simplicity of it. This one is just a more chopped-down version of it. It's actually, if I was describing it, I would tell people it's a more modern version of a Kephart. Which is one of the knives that is going to be in the bushcraft video. But a little bit about the SK4 Blackbird. Excuse me. You have a 4-inch 154 cm stainless steel blade. This is a full flat grind. Where's my notes here? You got G10 handles. Some of the earlier models came with canvas micarta handles, and I actually like those better. I have the SK5 Noir, which is a coated blade. It is black, and it does have like the green canvas micarta. Excuse me, but this one does come in the G10. 4-inch handle, 4-inch blade, 8 inches overall. One thing this is really going to shine at is it's got a super, super sharp 90-degree spine, so it's going to strike sparks off a ferro rod really easy. You can actually see, I don't know if you can see that, but I can pull some of my nail off just with the spine of this knife. But there's no bells and whistles about this thing. It's got a lanyard hole. It is a spear point. It's blocky, but it's small enough to where it doesn't like bother me. Like the Ontario Rat 5 or the SE knives that have that kind of blocky handle. This one is significantly thinner, so it's not such a factor for me. One problem I have noticed with the 154, especially when you're processing wood, is that it's kind of hard to explain. It's not like it dulls. I mean, it dulls, but it's not like it dulls so bad that you're not going to be able to process wood. But it's not something that a strop is just going to fix really quick. Like this knife is a perfect example. You know, a Scandi grind knife. You strop it really quick, and you're popping hairs off your arm again. This one, you do have to put it. I have to put it to a stone to get it back to razor sharp. But other than that, I mean, I love this. I absolutely love these knives. I love the shape. I love the simplicity. I hate the sheath, but like I said, this is about the knife. It's not about the sheath. This is the Kellum Fang. It's a 4 3/4 inch blade, Puko style. This is a Scandi grind. It does not list, I checked 3 different websites. It doesn't list what kind of steel it is. It just says carbon steel. Me and my editor Troy here both agree that it's likely a 1075. Could be, what is it, 12, whatever mortars are. I'm not sure. But it is a carbon steel. It has a very good spine. Not quite as good as the SK4, but this is also a carbon steel, so I'm going to be able to get some sparks off the shirt here. It has a birch handle, gorgeous birch handle, absolutely beautiful. and it's got some brass accents. This is the one bad thing about this, which is why I kept it in the bushcraft category. It is a rat tail tang, so it wouldn't be the best thing to do repeated or heavy batoning with it. But the handle is fat, like really, really fat, and it fits your hand really, really well. I did read some reviews. People were having issues with the birch cracking. Some people claim that, you know, they just cracked off basic use. Some people were saying that they didn't put any sort of oil on the handle, so it dried the wood out. I really haven't used this knife very much, so I'm not running into any of those issues, and I just flat out won't baton with this, and that's how I'm going to eliminate that. It is blued. That is not a coating, so like I said, it will scrape pretty good. This one on Amazon, I got this direct from Kellam, which was a bad call because it was like $100, but from Amazon, this one's coming in at $88.67. So though I don't really care about the sheaths, because generally if I don't like the sheath that bad, I'll buy a custom sheath for it, whether it be Kydex or I'll find a leather sheath that fits. You can generally get onto Self-Reliant Outfitters and find a leather sheath that'll fit any knife you have. But the Ontario comes with these nylon sheaths, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not, I like traditional, and I don't like straps. I really, really don't like straps, but that is like a nylon sheath. The Kellum comes with this weird, like iron chic. If you guys used to watch WWF, his boots had these little curls in them. I don't know if it was a quality control issue, but the original leather strap, which it was identical to this, broke off. So I did kind of weave that up myself, and it just goes through your belt loop, and it's just kind of like a dangler. But yeah, like I said, that's not a factor in this competition whatsoever. Just wanted to show those to you guys. All right, so we're gonna get outside. We're gonna go to the proving grounds. We're gonna process some wood. Like I said in the last video, I'm not getting really heavy with these. We're gonna narrow it down to about 4 before we start getting really, really detailed. But let's get outside and let's start processing some wood. See what these knives are about. Let's do this. All right, here we go. If you noticed in the last episode, our ferro rod kind of sucks. Nothing has changed because we haven't moved. It's the same day and it's actually 15 minutes later. So let's see what these guys can do as far as feather sticking go. We're going to go into the SK4 Blackbird. Again, a flat grind, which is proving to be kind of a pain in the butt in the wood processing scene, but let's see what we can do here. Can you still see that? That was beautiful. That is crazy. That's a crazy difference between the Rat 3, because those are really, really fine. You can feel the blockiness kind of coming out. And again, my hand is a little bit fatigued from the last video. But actually pretty happy with these feathers here. Those are pretty good. I'm not upset about those at all. I actually think those are finer than both the other 2 knives that we just did. Take a look at that there. I'm pretty happy with those. They're small, and I'm not optimistic about getting a fire going with them just because of our shitty fire steel. But I will be able to tell which one is throwing better sparks. But that is just a real quick on the Ontario SK4 Blackbird. We will move on right now to the Kellum Camp Knife. Now this is a Scandi grind. Historically, I suck with these because it bites into the wood too good, I guess you could say. But we'll see what we can do with this one here. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I gotta dial back that bevel because they get too thick. But that's me, it's not the blade. It's not the blade at all. It's just me being inexperienced with the Scandi grind. But those are, I mean, they're thick, they're really thick. No, those, I mean, I know those aren't gonna work. which I guess, I mean, if you're experienced with them, these would be really good as like a smaller kindling. But I could tell you right now that I'm not going to be able to get those lit. And I don't want to knock the knife for it. But I mean, I guess, I don't know. It just bites so good into the wood, there's not really anything I can do about it at this point. Maybe try a different stick here. So though this knife is incredibly comfortable, and I mean, I can feel it, like I could be doing this kind of for a while without being effective, but that's not an effective feather stick. And now whether that's me or that's the blade, I don't know, but I can't really seem to get anything lighter than that. But we'll see. This does have a better spine for sure. So we'll test that out with the ferrule rod here. All right, feather stick with the Ontario SK4. I'm gonna try not to cut myself with this one. Like I said, it's a very small ferrule rod. Most of the rods I have now are 1/2 inch with some sort of handle, which just makes everything better. But I mean, obviously this one's throwing sparks way better than the other two. There we go. So, I mean, you know, you can grind down any knife spine to achieve this effect, whether it be coated or not. But you know, that was pretty good. That's actually, to be honest with you, that's probably the fastest I've ever gotten a feather stick lit with a ferrule rod. So that's pretty good. Big kudos for the SK4. You still filming? Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna move on to the Kellum camp knife. Try to give myself, I mean, I know they're fat, but at least I'm gonna give myself a few more here. And who knows, I could be completely wrong. And I'm not exactly sure how to hold this one, but we'll see. Let's do this. Ooh. I mean, I can feel a burr. It's just not, well, maybe not. I mean, the fact of the matter is, it just doesn't throw as good as sparks as the SK4. Yeah. I'm not going to put a whole lot of effort into it just for the simple fact that this one was effortless. So the SK4 is going to get the nod on the feather sticking and striking the rod. Now we still have another test to do, so stand by. All right, so the SK4 did phenomenal with getting a fire going and had really, really good feather sticks. This one didn't have horrible feather sticks, but it also does not strike a spark as well. And I can tell you right now, I'm not even gonna chew the back of this spine up. I am not getting any sparks whatsoever. And I have two different types of rocks, so I'm not even gonna move any further with the char cloth. SK4 is gonna get the nod on the fire making completely. So now we're going to move into just kind of ergonomics, and we'll make some tent stakes real quick, or modified tent stakes. All right, we're going to make a little tent stake here, and it's really weird. Normally, when I do stuff like this, you know, I'll take, you know, a specific knife out with me, and I just don't really think about it because you're not always using the knife. But when you actually are doing something specific for a specific purpose, you do see where a knife not necessarily fails, but doesn't excel as much. And the flat grinds just do not carve very well. Just trying to get some sort of a point onto this here, and it is a bit of a struggle. Like I already could tell, I already know that the Kellum Fang is going to perform better as far as, you know, getting a point onto this. I'll call that good right there. And we'll just we'll do a number 7 notch right here. And again, you can feel, I'm starting to feel the blockiness of the blade. And it just doesn't want to bite as well. That's about all the effort I'm going to put into that, and that's a horrible number 7 notch. But yeah, whittling, as far as whittling goes, flat grinds just don't seem to, hope I didn't just chip my blade. Flat grinds don't cut the mustard as well. Scandy grind, we'll see how this one does. And like I don't know if you can see that, but I have to dial it back because it cuts into this wood so well. Scandy grinds, definitely better for making points. We'll see if this bites on the number 7 notch. Yep. And again, the handle is definitely more comfortable. Look at that, one little stroke there, done deal. So this one's tough for me because I do think fire is very important when it comes to survival and bushcraft. Though this one is more comfortable, it just does not, you know, it's just not the total package. This is crazy. I thought this one would get eliminated really fast. Because it's still, at the end of the day, I could keep working at it and I could get that notch done. Yeah, it doesn't bite into the wood as good. It made way better feather sticks, and it shit out a fire like nothing. So Kellum Camp Knives getting booted. The Ontario SK4 is going to be the winner for this one. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Tune in next week. We'll have two new knives for you. What's happening?
That was bad. Okay, wait, hold on. And tune in next week.
Tune in next week.